Welcome to the Teacher's Lounge with me, the Beachy Educator. My name is Dana. I am your host, aka the Beachy Educator, both on TikTok and on Instagram. Here on this podcast, we discuss teaching tips, best practices, and the education profession overall. Now, the last episode I recorded, it was around winter break. So it has been a few months because now we are in the beginning of March and spring break is here for myself. It is here for many other educators, or it is just around the corner. So today's episode is all about what teachers can and should do during their spring break. Now, to start, as always, I usually do a quote, and I found a quote by the name of a gentleman. His name is John Spencer. And here is what John Spencer said. He is a former middle school teacher. He currently teaches college. He's a college professor, and his focus really is trying to promote creativity in the classroom so that students can become deeper thinkers. But here's what he said about breaks. He said, "It's okay to rest. Actually, it's more than okay to rest, it's vital. When we rest, we are more energized for our students. We have creative breakthroughs by finding inspiration outside of our jobs. We are happier and healthier. So go binge watch The Great British Bake Off, go hiking, read books, drink coffee as slow as you'd like to, spend time with your loved ones. Don't let anyone ever make you feel guilty for rest. You've earned it." So that is his quote. I agree with the majority of his quote. I think everything he said pretty much to a T is exactly how we should feel about our breaks. It is okay to rest. The only part that I personally didn't agree with was about how our breaks are really for the purpose of being energized for our students. I don't equate the purpose of my breaks about being rejuvenated for me to go back to my students. I take those breaks and I use them selfishly for myself and or my family and my friends, so it's really not about the kids. But it does speak volumes to the nature of our jobs. And many jobs out there today, especially in the United States, I think they make us crave the weekend. And as teachers, we crave the weekend and we crave the next break that is coming. So we're counting down to winter break, where we were counting down to spring break. And I do find that a little bit sad because of the amount of work that we do as teachers. Teaching can be quite tiring, and that is why we are always counting down and looking forward to the next break. But I am appreciative of this break. It is much needed, is really what I was trying to say. So, here is how I think the breaks should be used as a teacher. So, there's three things that I think that we should do. Number one, do nothing. And it's really okay to do nothing. Number two, take time to go outside, spend time in nature. And then number three, plan an activity you normally would never get to do based on our contract hours. So those are the three things that we are going to discuss today. So take a listen and stay tuned. Number one, do nothing. And when I say do nothing, I feel like I am talking to myself because I truly have a problem with productivity. And it can be very difficult for me to be okay with not doing anything and not feeling guilty about it because I am always working on something. I always feel like I have to be doing something. Something always has to get done. And that just could be my personality or it could be my upbringing. For a lot of people, it's just their lifestyle. They can't afford not to be busy. But because we now have all these X amount of days off, I think it is important to in a sense, if you have to schedule it in, like schedule a day where you don't have anything planned and sit back and relax. And like the quote said, binge watch something if you want to. It doesn't have to be an all day thing. You can do nothing and feel okay about that because your body really does need rest. And that is something that I feel like a lot of us struggle with as adults, and our body needs it. Our brain needs it. Like we go to bed at nighttime because your body needs to stop and it needs to take time to rejuvenate on its own. And you should not be doing anything in order for your body to reset. So, because you now have these days off, I think it is important that you take a day and time to relax and not feel like you have to be getting something done at every moment of the day. Because when we think about our scheduled school day, there is never a moment in time where anyone says, okay, it's okay that you don't have to do anything. There is not a moment in our day where it is okay to stop teaching, because if somebody walks in and you are observed and you are doing nothing and the students are doing nothing, guess what? That is not going to be okay with them. So we are, in a sense, always on during our 9 to 5 day or our 8 to 4 day. And that can really take a toll on your mental health, your physical health, all of those moments where we are really not taking a break. That adds up. And so we are now allotted the privilege of having no work to do and no students to be teaching and no one to be on, and this performance for every minute of the day. Use that time to relax and truly be okay with sitting and doing nothing. And that can look different for anyone. However, you decide to relax, it is totally up to you. But it's doing it and not feeling guilty and not feeling like, wait, I need to be doing something right now just for the sake of doing something. Truly take that time for yourself, which moves on into number two. So, number two was to go outside and spend time in nature. And my friends call me the tree hugger, or Data, why are you outside in the trees again? And it's a joke, like it's truly a joke. Like they they mean well. I think they were very concerned that I was spending so much time outside, especially during the pandemic. But it honestly like completely got me through. And now I mean, I've always loved being outside. I've always loved nature. I think I took it for granted, especially now that when we are working and like in a brick and mortar building, there's not very many opportunities that I get to go outside during the day other than walking students to and from lunch, and that is a very short time. As a reading teacher, we have 90 minutes of uninterrupted instruction. So that means that because I only teach that subject, I don't have the opportunity to go to recess. And once that was taken away, I realized how much I really needed that and how much I missed it because I like didn't see the sun or it didn't go and get any fresh air like the entire day until the very end of the day. So it's something that's really important. There's actually studies that show that being outside in nature, number one, is relaxing and it reduces our stress. Because it's reducing our stress, it reduces our cortisol levels, which in turn reduces fat production. We have muscle, it reduces muscle tension, sorry, our heart rates, and all of which are risk factors for cardiovascular disease and many other diseases. So, anything that can reduce stress is ultimately good for our mental and our physical health. Stress is the cause for so many other things, as far as sicknesses and illnesses go. So being outside, we are organic matter, and is crazy as I might be sounding, I truly believe in all of this and how we are truly connected, and we are created and we're the same. So, like, we do feel this connection when we go outside and we feel better. And when we breathe fresh air, we just feel better. And going outside does something for us. For myself personally, I like the water. I like going to the beach. I like going to anywhere where there's some source of water. Water really relaxes me. So I make it an intentional thing to go to the water in some shape or form every week. That is hard with the hours of my school day. It is so late that I get out that it just doesn't make sense unless it's like an early release kind of day. But because spring break is here, I will be making sure to spend time outside hiking. I will be visiting another state where it is very famous for different hikes and things of that nature. And there's mountains and there's lakes and all kinds of things. And I'm so excited to see it because it's so unlike Florida, which is where I currently am, and it'll be an amazing experience. I really cannot wait. But no matter where you live, no matter where you are, it's outside, like fresh air, the trees, it's outside. Like you go, you open your door and you can step outside and you can find nature some in some shape or form, even if it's just a park. I think it is really important that you take some time to do that and not stay indoors your entire break as much as we want to relax and like I said, number one, to do nothing, it is good for your body and your mind to take a moment to go outside. Honestly, every day. I think you really should go outside every day. Just in my own school day, aside from spring break, after work, I make it a point to walk to the gym, and it's a 10-minute walk there and back. But when I tell you it is so enjoyable to still have the sun out and be able to walk just in the sun near the grass. It sounds so ridiculous, but like it really does something for me. So we should take advantage of all the extra time that we now have during our break to spend time in nature in some shape or form. And then number three is to plan an activity that you normally would not be able to do just because it's something that would be done normally during the school day. And it's funny because I'll see TikToks and things on Instagram, and it'll be like a teacher who took a day off, and she'll say, like, "Oh, I'm getting my personality back." And it makes me wonder, like, why do we feel like we can only be ourselves when we are not working? Like, just take a moment and think about that sentence, like, "I'm getting my personality back." But I think it's really just to say that, okay, I get to do things that I enjoy and I normally can't unless it's the weekend. And like I said, sometimes we are so tired by the weekend that we don't really do the things that we would actually like to do. And plus everybody's off on the weekend. So even if we go get that cup of coffee or we go to a particular place, everybody might be there because it's the one opportunity that we have. So when you do it during the break, it's kind of like you're this wonderful stay at home person who doesn't have to go to work and you have the middle of the day to do whatever you would like. Um, as silly as it might be, I really enjoy going to well, everybody likes Target, right? But I never like going to Target on the weekends because it's so busy. But like I will show up at 2:30 at Target and live my best life because it's empty and there's no lines and I can peruse as much as I would like to because there's just not a lot of people. And so it's just it really could just be a simple activity. It doesn't have to be this extremely extravagant thing. It can be something that you do on the weekends, but you just, you could just do it on a Wednesday. like, I don't know, 11 o'clock because you can and you have the time. And it's just really nice. But take advantage of planning something just in your own and in your own backyard. I mean, literally, or you can just plan something that you would never get to do just in your own town, like be a tourist in your own city. There's so many things that you can look up and find. Groupon is is a beautiful website. You can find literally things to do under that category. And there's a plethora of things that are probably in your city that you never heard of or never tried, but everybody else who is coming to visit your city has done. You should do those things. Like you really should. It'll be great for you. So plan an activity that you normally would not get to do because of your school day and your contract hours. It's difficult to do so. So you should do that as well. Great. So those are the three things. Do nothing. You don't have to do anything and you don't feel guilty about it. Number two, make sure you find time to go outside if you can every day. That'll be the best thing for you. And then number three, plan an activity that you normally would not get to do during your contract hours. That's it. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast on what you can do and possibly should do during this year's spring break. I truly hope that you enjoy your break to the absolute maximum amount. I think we all deserve it as educators. We work very hard Monday through Friday, so it is something that is well deserved. And I know that education right now is in a very weird space. Many teachers are leaving. Some of you may not be returning after this spring break. This might be your last year. This could be your very first year. But no matter where you are, as far as the education profession goes, I really hope that everybody does get what they would like to out of that experience, whether it means that this is something that you would like to do for the rest of your life, or maybe this might not be the best thing for you, and that is okay. And you shouldn't feel guilty for that. So reflect over this spring break. Use it however you would like to. These are just suggestions, but these are things that I hope that I get to do during my spring break. So I'm just encouraging you to do one of the three things, if not all three. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram under The Beachy Educator. It's the same name. You can go there for more tips. I give some suggestions, tips for the classroom. You can also follow my podcast for any new episodes that come out. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a fabulous spring break. Bye.